302 electrical power plants and 22 transmission substations were inspected by ERCOT during the month of December. Based on what was found, the grid operator on Thursday filed this report with the Public Utility Commission. It was declared the generation fleet is ready for winter weather. Energy analyst Doug Lewin wasn't surprised that most of the companies targeted were ready for the visit.
I think that there have been significant improvements made on the power generation side. I think ERCOT's approach to this makes sense. They are going to inspect the largest power plants first, and with a focus on ones that had problems in 2021 and or 2011. So I think there's been strides made there.
The report, classified as preliminary, stated 10 generation sites had problems that needed to be corrected. 6 substations had potential deficiencies. Problems were described as a generation unit may have needed a windscreen to be compliant, but it was not yet installed on the day of inspection, and cabinet heaters out of service or missing weather stripping on cabinet doors on the day of inspection. Ed Hurst with the University of Houston noted about 500 sites were not part of this review, and he questions the guarantee.
The inspections themselves really don't mean that these plants are going to be able to answer the bell when they do. They've taken care of the obvious problems. It's going to take iterations to determine whether or not these fixes are durable and will make these plants more resilient.
ERCOT stated that most of the problems found are now corrected, but the companies inspected are not identified, and a final report from ERCOT will not be filed until the middle of January. Natural gas suppliers, who some describe as the Achilles heel of the power grid, were not inspected by ERCOT. They are regulated by the Texas Railroad Commission. Fox 7 received video showing some winterization efforts, but the state rulemaking process is still very much a work in progress.
And it's very confusing. But what they actually did in 2021 was pass a rule that said that gas supply and associated infrastructure, so things like gathering lines and compressor stations, they need to be registered as critical infrastructure. That's what the opt-out was about. It was about registering as critical infrastructure so they wouldn't have their power cut off. But it is not about actually winterizing wellheads and other associated infrastructure. That rule is coming in 2022. The law, SB 3, the major storm response bill that passed the legislature, actually doesn't require that rule to be in place until March 2023.
The potential for a grid failure, according to Hers, remains.
We're relying upon the weather cooperating. We're relying upon industrial machines and processes also to cooperate. We're relying upon human nature to cooperate. Last year, none of that happened. And so there's, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.